Okay, so gonna show you a couple of things. Let me see. So over here, right, ellipse tool, this is how you make circles and ellipses. If you do this, it just makes an ellipse. But if you hold down shift while dragging, right, or at any point, shift, then it's gonna make a circle. Okay. Delete that really fast. So we want a couple of small circles. So what are we going to do? Make this guy. And I'm going to go to my particular libraries of color. This is going to be your fill color. So I'm going to click on, whatever we wanted it to be, blue. And then I click on the outline. I'm going to make it no outline here. This information is also accessible from the properties tab. So fill, stroke, color. Cool. That's the idea there. So now we have this guy. If you wanted to have a stroke color, that's fine too. And then on properties again, you can make it like thinner or thicker or whatever. If you want to get to this guy, you can also hit V, by the way. But just to be able to click off and you can see what it looks like. So there's our circle. This is going to be a proton. So we copy, paste, 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 paste. Okay, so now we have a bunch of these protons and you can arrange them however you'd like. So, you want them all kind of grouped together or whatever. Then you're just going to copy and paste this guy again. Boom, here it is. And we want this one to be green because it's going to be, not that. Switchies and make this be black. If I double click here, single click, I guess. Okay, black. Awesome, that's good. Okay, so now here's our neutron. What I usually do is, so copy, undo. Paste. I'm going to drag this guy up here so that I know this is what my, proton always looks like. That's what my neutron always looks like. And then I can copy and paste from it at any point in time, right? And then here we're going to just paste, paste, paste. So now we have, this many neutrons in the thing, and we'll probably want a couple more of them, right? You can get those as close together as you want or overlapping if you want, whatever. Then, so this is the next kind of big part, right? We're going to want circles around this. These ones we are going to want to have no fill and just the outer rim. We might want that thing to be a little bit thicker though, so that it's more visible. That's going to be the ring for the electrons, yeah? And then the cool thing about that is with these guys, you can get a second one, and this one we want to be a little bit bigger. Again, holding shift as I drag to make sure it stays in the same, circle shape. Okay, so, whoops. Okay, so this one's a bit bigger, and then copy paste again, and I make one more that is even bigger than that. Now the cool thing about these guys is if I highlight these three circles, I'm going to go to Window, and I want the align thing, which it says is apparently there already. Where did it go? Oh, here. Sorry, it's off the screen, on a different screen. So if you click on that, it should bring up this guy for you. This guy is really, really awesome because it helps you, so you can distribute the spacing evenly if you want to have evenly distributed tick marks, right, in either the vertical or horizontal directions. It can help you distribute the objects, essentially, align the objects basically so that they're all, vertically aligned, horizontally aligned in any kind of a way, right? So vertical line, center, all that jazz. But you can also make them, donde estas? Let me see what this one does. That didn't do it. That's not what I wanted. I see. Yeah, that's not it either, is it? Okay, so technically if we do vertical align, horizontal, and vertical align center, both of those, it will make them concentric. I think there's another way to do this actually, by the way, where it's just it's one button that makes them concentric, but whatever. Concentric circles just means that they would be aligned horizontally and vertically, so they'll have the same center. So quick way to get to that, right? That was Window and then Align. It'll bring up this little window. That's the idea of the window. Then if you don't know this part, Control G gets these grouped together. So if you go into the layers, it's actually really helpful sometimes to see things like this. So you can, if I wanted to group all these guys, right? So boom, put these over here. I want to say, okay, here's my entire atom, group that over there. And then I can, rename this and say, okay, here's the atom itself. And then, these are, I can rename this one and say, all right, this is the electron, shells, essentially, and call it that. Then, drag this over here and I center it. And then, making the electrons, you would just like essentially, copy and paste the circle, make it smaller, etc., etc. To add text, it is fairly simple. Usually when I add text, so we're going to want pluses and minuses. I'll just put the text anywhere, and then from there, again, so if you drag it this way, it's not going to be great, but if you hit shift, it makes sure that it maintains the right proportions. So make it however big you want, super big, super small, doesn't matter, and get back into this. Okay, then we can drag and drop and we put that into there, although that is definitely a bit too small. By the way, if you want something to stay centered, so like this, it's like shrinking down into that corner. But if I hit Alt, it'll shrink down like and stay centered essentially. So I can kind of do that. Yeah. So I'm hitting Shift to make it stay same dimensions, Alt to make it go towards the center of wherever it is right now, and then I'm just gonna shift that down TNC because there we go. Okay. So there's like that stuff, right? And then from here, one of the other things you can do is if you only want 2 valence shells, right? You can just like make one of them disappear, or maybe you want it to be this one. You can name all of these guys so that you know which one it is easily. But then now you only have 2, and now you have 3. And if you build that up, then you have 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. And then you can just like toggle them on and off as you take each picture, essentially. Then usually what I'll do, so put the pluses, put the minuses, all that jazz. But when I take the pictures, I take this picture of this one. Okay, fine, that's great. And then what I'll do is I'll take this guy and copy it and paste it like somewhere down here. And I group all that whole thing together and I say, okay, that was like question number 1. Now these ones, you'll probably want to make them like much smaller. Usually when I'm working with these, I make them like pretty tiny. And then like as I'm working with the whole thing, I'll just like zoom in a bunch and be like, okay, cool, blah, 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 editing. Okay, zoom out, take the picture, that kind of an idea. So there's that too. Okay, that's all for now. Ta-ta for later. I don't know what I'm saying.